This barn has been derelict for over a decade, and as you can see, it is in need of a good makeover.
And a good makeover we have definitely given it. Over the past 4 months, we have worked tirelessly to give this barn the new lease of life it deserves. We've given this amazing barn a complete gut restoration. We have totally stripped it to find some unsavable rotten oak, leading us to demolishing almost half of it. Then the challenge begun for us to totally rebuild it. We have also sandblasted the original and the new oak beams, formed new rooms, built gallery openings and some beautiful oak features. And we mustn't forget how we've had to fix some incredibly dodgy work.
And it's actually live.
Carried out by the previous builders. We do try not to mention them. But now it's time to start turning this barn into a livable home. But that's not possible until we've installed some first fix electrics and plumbing.
Already our brilliant electrician Jason has installed a brand new mains kiosk, the mains feed to our new internal fuse board, and the majority of the runs around the barn. But before we progress any further, it's about time we get rid of this enormous internal scaffold. And just like that, it's down, and you can finally see this stunning barn in all its glory.
You may be thinking, why on earth have you taken down the bird cage? Reason being, tomorrow is a very busy day. We have plumbers and electricians. The electrician has already run his services across along the floor, but a plumber has to do 2 of the MLCP pipe, I believe that's correct, which is going to run from the utility room along the floors, around, up into that corner, where we then take the 2 feeds up for both floor standing rad. Jason is back at the barn today. He is installing the sockets to the underside of the mezzanine area. So Jason's got, hey, have you got the cables here yet, Jace? Are they run down?
They're above.
They're above. So he's got them all up here. And then they're going to pop out the wall, come back down into the socket positions. But Jason is installing, where are they, Jace? Here they are. So these are fire and acoustic. So I take it something to do with that. If it gets hot at the back or the fire,
it
swells up, and yeah, stop the fire from coming through the socket, I suppose. Sorry, mate, I'm in the way of the laser. But yeah, Jason's here. He's going to crack on today, get the sockets. I think he's got his mate Rooney upstairs. He's cracking on with Rooney,
Wayne.
Not the Wayne Rooney. He looks like him a little bit. He's got the same hairstyle.
Well, it looks like him now. He's put some weight on.
But we are waiting for the plumber, who is going to arrive very, very shortly. He's had a trip down from Essex, so stay tuned. He works for one of the companies that I work for as an ambassador, CT1. So he'll be here very shortly. We'll show you what he's going to be up to.
What? Oh, what do you want?
So after battling the M25 and that dreaded Dartford crossing for 4 hours this morning, Mike from Relion has arrived on site to get cracking with our plumbing.
Mike has arrived from Relion Gas Services, that's the one. So he's getting all his gear and that in. He's had a hell of a journey down, got stuck on the car park, the N25, but we've just run through where he's going to start doing his runs. So basically we need to get from A to B under the floors, and then we've just worked out all our runs for where the cylinder's going in the Eave storage upstairs, and we've worked out positionings for all of our bathrooms. So Mike and his boy, what's your name? Rob. Rob has arrived, and they're literally just getting all their gear out, and then they're going to make a start. So going to be a bit of a slow process to start, but then once we get going, this thing's going to slowly come together.
As far as days go on site, today was hectic.
We are getting everything prepared, ready for the underfloor heating to be installed. So the plumbers were in and got all of their services under the floor and clipped down. Jason's got all of his services in where he needs to, but it's now time to install our 1200 gauge DPM on top of the existing concrete floor. We are unsure whether the previous builders have put their DPM under the concrete, but to be on the safe side, we're going to be putting a new barrier across before we install our 80mm Celotex.
As you can see, the floor is fully insulated, ready for our new layer of thin TPC or TPS to go on before the underfloor heating pipes go in. You may be wondering what these are for. These are to hold insulation down. Why, you ask? If you look at this, it's just all nice and flat, but with the temperatures and stuff that we've had, everything is cupped. So what we're going to be doing is using these. We're going to have to screw down and plug. This will go through, but we're going to go through at the joint. So that go through, and we'll screw and plug that down to the floor, which will hold this down so there'll be no bounce once the liquid screed has gone in. Jason has now completed all of the first fix electrics to the barn. He's got all of his light switches throughout the ground floor and upstairs, all the sockets and that are in, all the downlighters, and all of the feature lighting which is on the oak beams above us. It has all been run back. If I take you to where everything's going, into the utility area. Here we're going to have a tall tower unit which is going to house. We've got a double socket here which is going to run the router, and all of our Cat 6 is run round to all the TV positions. We've got a, what are they called that pull down? Projector, that's the one. We've got a projector coming underneath the gallery area which needs power or Ethernet cable, so all of the located points are run now back to the router here. We've got this box here which is going to house the fuse board, which is going to be in the back of this tower unit. We're going to have a removable back to it, or we might even cut around it just so that it's all easy accessible and everyone knows where it is. So that is this complete in this area. The next stage is the second fix, but we've got a little bit more to do after the plumbers have finished, when we can close up, really get cracking. As part of Jason's finishing the first fix electrics, it means that this old fuse board is now gone. But we've done all of our work as asked by UK Power Networks and EDF, but we are still without power. Why? Because EDF apparently filled out their own form wrong, and we're now left for 3 weeks without any electric. So we've got 2 generators running this site, charging batteries and everything that we need to charge whilst we're here on site. So hopefully we get some power back on soon, and we will have some light.
Now the floor is insulated and fixed down, it's go time for the underfloor heating. But before the underfloor heating pipes are installed, we have to lay a thin layer of plastic down called TPS, which protects our Celotex from the screed. Then it's time to let the boys from Rely On work their magic.
Oh.
Now the lads have got all their underfloor heating loops completed, they need to go through and purge the air out of each circuit one by one.
As you can see, the clients have decided to go with underfloor heating, which is great because this is such a large area and the heat output from the underfloor heating is going to work just perfect. But as you can see, Mike from Rely On Plumbing or Gas Services has been in and installed all of his pipe work. We've put the plastic down, his pipes are on top, and now this whole ground floor is ready for some screed, which I am super excited about. There is some spaces missing. You may be thinking, why have you you left big gaps everywhere. But the reason for that, we have an island situated here. So it's a waste of time putting any underfloor heating under there. This section here, oh, nearly fell over. This section here is gonna be where our spiral staircase is gonna be installed. So we are yet to have confirmation of the build up of that, but I did not want to put anything underneath it because we may have to fix something down to the floor. To the right of me, we have left a square meter out, and that is going to be for a log burner, which is going to be situated there with the stainless steel flue, which is going to go out the wall and up the side of the barn. You may be thinking, where on earth are all these pipes going to? But follow me and we will show you. Mike has installed a large manifold system with the pump and that on a bit of ply, which every zone for each floor, because you cannot run a continuous loop for the whole floor, a maximum of 100-meter runs at a time. So we've got kitchen, lounge, entrance, WC, utility, spare room, stairs, main bed and ensuite, all to this manifold. They are all full and pressure tested. We have our pump, which is situated here. These two pipes, which are coming down from the boiler, are going to come out, loop into this, and this is going to feed all the underfloor heating. We're going to have a wiring control center sat on the top of this, which is going to be underneath the oak staircase here. So we are going to build a nice unit around all of this gubbins once it's all done. So Mike has just arrived on site, so I am going to pass him over to you and he's going to explain what all of these gubbins do. Over to you, Mikey boy.
Right, so this is obviously your normal underfloor heating setup. We've got all of these like the flow meters here. These restrict the flow going in and out the flow and returns of each loop. These are for the these come off. These are for individually controlled actuators. So above this we'll have a wiring centre, and each of these actuators will correspond to either a thermostat or something along the lines of that, and this will actually open and close the loop. So this allows us to restrict the flow. Let's just say, for example, one of these loops are 100 metres long and one of them is only 20 metres long. This will allow us to restrict the flow essentially, so that it can have the same amount of heat going out and coming back per loop. And then what we can do is it's all governed by the thermostat itself there and the actuator. Obviously the pump now, which pumps everything around, and that's pretty much it, mate. Really, this is what it is.
Perfect, mate. Right, so what we do then is we will jump upstairs and Mike will show us what the plan is with the cylinder and all the gubbins up there.
Right, so we're in here. Like any household, no one wants to give you the space to put all of the heart of the home. So you always get pushed into a corner somewhere. And we've got the eave space here, which is above the utility. So as we climb into here, you can see I'm going to be working in here for like 2 to 3 days. Luckily it's not sweltering hot, but we've brought all of our first fix feeds up. Now the cylinder is going to get laid horizontally that way, down that end, and we're going to have to bring all of our feeds through, and this is going to be our main control board here. So along this wall, which is going to get built out, there's not enough room in here. I'm going to suffer in here.
Yes, there is. There's plenty of room, mate.
I'm going to be suffering in here. Yeah, so all of these feeds we're going to bring across at some point, and we're going to pin them up here, and this is going to be the basic, all of the control. Essentially, this would be like the plant room, but it's an Eave space, a tiny little Eave space.
It's an Eaves plant room. That's it. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to order the sunshine just as you're doing it. Just so it's nice and warm in there for him.
Yeah, so then we'll bring everything up. We're going to have a hots and colds brought through to the cylinder. Our primary flow and returns, which are the big 28 ones over there, going to come through. Then the system's going to get split here. This will have our independent zones for, we've got the mezzanine rads, we've got the rads on this side, we've got the underfloor heating, and the towel rail circuits all going to get split within this area and sent away. That's it.
So it's a new week and there's lots of things happening. We've got the roofers, we have Mark and his guys from EJS Solutions ready to do the liquid screed, but of course we have issues. So we've got the screed lorry, which has got to get down a very tight lane and into this driveway, and the entrance right at the beginning is a sharp bend and we do not think he's going to get in. So I've had to go and speak to the neighbours to see whether we're allowed access to park their lorry there with the pump, so it's less less of a run straight into the barn. But for now, let's jump inside and we'll get set up with the boys and we'll show you how they set up and measure for how much screed we need. So you may be wondering what these little triangle tripod things are. So basically the boys are going round now and finding the highest point of the ground floor slab, which is this room. So they set these tripods at 50 mil from our Celotex to here. Then they're going to set them all the way around the barn with their laser, and then they can measure down from here to here and get an average of how much screed they're going to need. We're just gonna have to try and fix this down. We'll have to get some blocks. It's typical, it's been absolutely scorching and the barn's been no air, no wind, no nothing. And the day the screed comes, the wind wants to pick up. So to protect the screed from any wind, which will prevent any surface cracking, we're gonna seal up the openings, but they are quite large openings. So we're gonna chuck some concrete blocks on the bottom of this, like so, and that will hold that in position and hopefully stop any cracking in the screed. And that is the floor, not finished. So the boys were very cautious about their big truck coming down the lane that we've got here. So we spoke to the neighbour, they agreed it, and then they had a rep turn up from Underfloor, which I totally understand, but for me, it's very annoying because I wanted this job done. So they are unable to get their lorry down. So what they've done is they've called in 2 smaller lorries so that they can get right in and park right outside the front of the barn, which is fine, like I say. But for me, it's a bit disappointing because I wanted to get this done, dried for a couple of days, and then the plumbers, everyone can crack on, get all the plasterboard on, the insulation on the walls. Yeah, but we go again and we keep you updated when it happens. As you can see, it's an extremely busy day here on site. We have got the Portaloo being cleaned. We have also got about 8 or 9 cars here and vans because the site is so busy. Roofers, plumbers, chippies, more chippies.
The lads have really cracked on with this plumbing the last couple of days, but unfortunately for Mike, it's time he squeezed himself into the eave space and gets started in there.
We are at the important stages of the first fix plumbing, and inside this little cupboard is Mike. So what I'm going to do is throw Joe in here with Mike and he can explain exactly what he's doing.
Right, as you can see, we ain't got a lot of room in here, especially for a lump like me. But we've got to get all of our feeds across. Now, originally, the original plan was to chuck the cylinder down that end, but the length of the cylinder impedes the entrance of that cupboard. So I've already first fixed a lot of my pipework into that area, so I'm gonna have to run it along here underneath because they want to board this out for storage. So the cylinder, are you able to pan down that way? Yeah, so the cylinder is now gonna go over there, up against that wall, which allows us to tuck it in that corner. But because of the heights in here, originally we was going to try and push the cylinder this way to create storage that way. But because of the heights now, we're going to have to push the cylinder close up to that wall and then put our pipework coming out so that they've still got a little bit of storage down there. And now what I'm going to have to do is, because of the, let me lay down here. Because we can't get the vessel over that side, we're going to have to put our vessel, our combi valve and all the water gubbins here that then go back underneath to serve that cylinder. This is going to be our heating side, so we're going to have our primary flow and returns coming back off of those 28mm pipes over there. They will come up, they'll come across, and they will feed all of the zones going down. Up here we're going to have our wiring centres, which are going to, all of the motorised valves and all of the electrics that are coming from the thermostats are going to come back to a wiring centre here. Well, that's the plan, but once we get it on the wall, we'll see where we stand with that. So I've got to bring all of those copper pipes down there, across, up, all isolatable, and then we can, yeah, it's going to be tricky because it's one of the hottest weeks of the year and I'm stuck in this little cupboard getting it all in, but yeah, you'll see the progress as it comes.
Right, Mike, as I know you've got no fans, I'll I'll give you one. Yeah, mate, that'll keep you a bit cooler, won't it?
Oh, blimey.
Better? Eh?
Cheers, mate.
Non-stop now. No excuses.
As long as anyone downwind don't mind. Right, if you look in here, we've got the we're just trying to piece together the well, essentially it's like a plant room. Everything's come back to this point. We need a point of isolation for the whole system because there's so much going on. I want to be able to shut things down independently, drain things down independently. So if anything gets damaged or we need to work on anything further down the line, we can just come back to one point in the whole house and we've got full control. So at the minute I'm just doing the all the flows and returns. So we've got, this one is our underfloor heating manifold. This goes to our underfloor heating manifold, flow and return. This one is hot and cold, not hot and cold, flow and return for the radiator circuit, which is just doing all the radiators throughout the house. We've got a separate radiator circuit, which is, I believe, this one, which is doing on top of the mezzanine, but it had to be run separately because we had no means of getting up. So we had a lot of tricky pipe work to run in the deck over there, up the outside and back in, but that's that. And then we've got our hot water control there. So I'm just going to be bringing we've got all of our primaries coming up there, so they're going to be looped across. We've got pump, filter, vessels all going on this wall. You'll see it all start coming together over the course of the day. But this is where I'm focusing on my energy at the moment, and yeah, it's a bit tight, but it's what it is. Right, as you can see, we're working our way up. You can't even call this a plant room, it's like up this hole in the side of the house, and we're getting to the stage now where we've sighted the cylinder. We had to drag it in through that entrance and all the way down because it won't get in this opening. Yeah, we've had to, originally we was going to sight it that side, but we need to be able to get the pipes across. So as you can see behind me, it's tight. That's why Rob's come in to help me finish that bit off, because I can't fit down there. Well, I can, but I can't get out. Yeah, so we're nearly there now. We're trying to get all the connections in the floor connected up. Then we can pressure test everything before we lay this floor, and then we're out. And then it's just sort of piecing everything else together. But we're making good progress. Hopefully by the end of today we'll have most of this wrapped up, and then it's just the wiring I've got to do. And yeah, second fixing then, really. That's it. Yeah, but as you can see, this has been grueling. It's been testing. My back's. We've been staying down here because of the traffic. We got caught up in that 5-hour traffic jam the other day trying to get home. So we've opted to stay down here, and I was really uncomfortable in the bed last night that we in the hotel. So my back's, as you can see me, I've been folding up like a pretzel for about 2 days straight. So my back's out of joint. It's been double hard work. It's hot, sweating, as you can see. But we're pressing on. We're pressing on.
We've got a solder cap.
Yeah. I've got to put a balancing valve in it anyway.
Well, I've got to say, respect to these boys. In a matter of a few days with some tough circumstances, they have smashed it. What a lovely, neat and tidy job they have done. Now, over to Mike.
So that's done now. First fix is complete. Manifolds on, cylinders in, all the components are live, pressure tested. So we will be returning once all of the radiators are on site. Bathrooms. So bathrooms, we're treating them separately, but we're waiting for all of the bathroom stuff to turn up. We'll pick up all the valves, get all that in place, and then we'll be back to sort all that out and second fix the rads. We're out of here. Oh, and if Dan hasn't already mentioned, my name's Michael from Reliant Gas Services. We're not on YouTube or anything yet, but we are on Insta, so I'm sure you'll tag my handle in here somewhere here, so just come over now.
As always on site, plumbers are out, now straight in with attempt 2 of the screeding. And this time we've got Screed. Happy days.
So this is it, we're finally here, the floor is going down. So we've got a lot of people here today. We've got the main people from Brett's here as well. So this has been a long time coming. So let's get the show on the road and get this floor screeded. So as you can see, what the boys are doing as they go round, as the liquid screed comes out of the pipe, these tripods are set to their finished height. So as you can see, what Russell's doing there is going round. Because it's a liquid, it finds its own level. So obviously once they're in a certain room and all the tripods are hit to this height, they know they've got enough liquid screed. Once they've done the whole floor, we will then show you the procedure that they do once the whole floor has been filled up to its correct depth. Also, it's a big moment. The screed's going down on Mike's underfloor heating, which he's laid and filled and pressure tested. So I am staring at this gauge to make sure that that does not move. As you can see, obviously, as explained, we couldn't get the big lorry down to do this in one. So Brett's has sent 2 smaller lorries. The second lorry has just arrived. We're almost through the first lorry. Now we're onto the big section of the floor where that lorry should take up that whole floor.
So I thought while the boys are still pouring, I just want to point out a couple of pointers why I prefer to use liquid screed over traditional screed. So obviously being a liquid with underfloor heating, where the liquid goes, it literally wraps itself around the pipe, so you get better efficiency with the heat output or disperse across the whole floor. Where if it's traditional, I just feel like if it's not compacted and laid correctly, it just doesn't form a tighter seal around the pipes, which obviously the liquid, you're guaranteed that. So that is the reason why I prefer to use a liquid screed. Got yourself in a corner now. Looks totally different already, doesn't it? Looking good. So obviously, as explained just now, obviously Russ is coming across with the dapple bar and he's basically agitating and moving the pipework because it isn't a liquid screed. It won't just pump in and then leave it. You have got to do some work with it. So obviously you can see they cross dapple, so they go one way and then come back across it, just making sure that it all moves and then knocking it back flat, all fills in nicely, gets rid of all the air bubbles. So he's going to continue, get this finished, work his way out. Then we're going to put the sheet across just to try and stop, one, the animals. As you can see, we've plastic everywhere up. So we're going to plastic up the front to stop any animals, as we've got many deer around here, so we do not want them coming in tonight. So we're going to pull the plastic across, protect it from the wind, stop it drying out quickly, leave it to do its thing, and then we'll have a perfectly finished floor by the boys at EJS.
And just like that, 100+ meters of screed done. Beautiful.
As you've seen, we have just completed the screed in the barn, and it is a big moment we've been waiting for. So I just want to thank Russ, Mark and Brandon from EJS Flooring Solutions, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, Floor Solutions, for coming in and getting it done. We have had troubles with the lorries, but these boys went out their way to sort 2 smaller lorries to get the job done. But if you do need any flooring, you know where to go. They're here and they do a splendid job, so hit them up. Thanks very much, boys. Thank you very much. Nice one. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Right, job's a good one. Right, thank you very much, boys. See you on the next one. As you can see, we have had a monumental week on the barn. First fix electrics, first fix plumbing, underfloor heating, screed, all installed. If you like what you've seen, stay tuned for the next video because it is going to be huge. So if you like what you've seen, hit the like and subscribe button and we will see you on the next one.